Hey, we want to thank Bill.com for being a sponsor of the Thrivecast. Our firm, Blummer CPAs, has used Bill.com as a foundational part of our tech stack for many, many years. We're a virtual firm and we work with clients virtually all over the U.S. And so we have to have a virtual platform like Bill.com. So thank you, Bill.com, for sponsoring the Thrivecast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Thrivecast. This is an exciting one. A lot of times we'll bring a guest in virtually, but we have somebody in studio that we're going to want you to meet. And this is a pretty special guest. His stage name is J.Dew. So J.Dew, by the time he was 30 years old, and you're going to know why we're having this guest on in just a minute, but by the time he was 30 years old, J.Dew had entertained and empowered over 3 million people at live events, and his talents and capabilities are evident in the kind of events he hosts, and he has been doing this forever. And so I want to introduce you to the Deeper Weekend MC, J.Dew. Welcome, J.Dew.
What's up, Jason? Thanks for having me.
To the Thrivecast.
Glad to be back on the Thrivecast.
Very cool. Well, we had a transition last year in our MC duties.
Right.
From one person to you, and we were pretty amazed to have you. So last year was your first inaugural MC event at Thrival's Deeper Weekend Conference, and so we asked you back.
I appreciate it. So something went right, or something still went very wrong with the previous guy.
That's right.
You
never know.
We're not naming any names out there for those of you who've been around for a while.
Yeah,
but
you never know what it is, right? Did the last guy suck so bad you had to find somebody, or was I so good I'm coming back for a second year?
I always wonder that. But as long as the checks don't bounce, I don't ask.
Okay.
You know?
Well, you're coming back because you did an amazing job.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you're a pretty well-known MC locally here. And so everybody's getting to know you at Deeper Weekend. So what is an MC?
Well, an MC, there's two ways to think about it, because first off, we probably grew up thinking about master of ceremonies, right?
Right.
Literal M.
Right.
C.
Okay.
Right. But in the last few years, it started to become a word, MC, like EMCEE, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so what is this?
Yeah.
What is this mystery job out there? So first off,
it is a job, right?
It is.
Okay.
Well, as long as the checks don't bounce, so far I tell my wife it is when I leave the house every day. So a lot of folks need someone to help piece together the events that they're doing. And it's great to have sometimes an outside voice to be able to do that and to set the mood. One of the most important things to do in an environment where you're bringing people together is figure out, what is the core and the reason that we're here?
Yeah.
What is our defining features that brings us together today? Marriage is what brings us together today. I don't do the voice, but...
That's good. That was good.
Well, I think some of our listeners will get that reference. So what an MC does is just the person who's able to piece together all the individual segments and sections. So obviously in a conference, an event type venue, we're going to have keynote speakers. We'll have speeches, presentations. We'll have guests and things like that. And the MC ties it all together.
Yeah. And I think there was a point in time when our conference, Deeper Weekend, we'll be in our 11th year this year.
Right.
And it got so big, we kept going. We don't know how to move crowds.
Right.
Transition became this thing that we could no longer manage because we're getting ready for the speech or we're checking with the caterer or something like that. Right. We're doing those kind of things. We're caring for the sponsors, and then, attendees have questions and things like that. So how does the group get called and moved forward? And so is transition part of what you get people all the way from the beginning to the end of the
For sure.
event?
There's so many different events that I might do where, yes, transitions are a big part of it. And every event is different, and they have their specifics, like we're going to do awards, or we're going to have stand up and stretch, greet your neighbor, all the things you hate, whatever it is, right? Right? Turn around and hug somebody.
Right.
All those things. So yes, transition manager is going to be a piece of that pie as well.
Very cool.
To keep people ready and anxious for the next move, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of bathroom breaks folks try to take. Or
Right.
you know what? We don't know what's happening here, or there's a poor transition or no MC. So they get on their phone. They get distracted. So
Okay.
an MC can bring them back home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
all of those things.
So attendees, a lot like your job is to make sure the attendees don't get distracted. They stay in the flow.
Stay with us.
They
Yes.
stay in the energy. And they're like, we want you said anticipate.
Yeah.
You want them to anticipate the next session, the next lunch, and not get lost and just sit there and get bored.
Right. Of course. It's very interesting, too, because if you're like me and a professional in this arena and folks ask you from time to time to be a part of whatever it is they're doing, you don't always know what's coming next. Now, it might be on a paper, but I've never met this keynote speaker.
Right.
They just flew in.
Yeah.
They were getting ready. I don't know them. I just kind of see maybe their topic or their name. So you get folks hyped for what's about to happen, even though you don't know what's about to happen either. You know, this is one of the greatest pieces. You put away your phones. You don't want to miss any of this. There's buzzwords you can say. Now I'm giving you some of my criteria, Jason. You can be an MC too one day.
Oh, right.
Because as long as you get people hyped about that, you don't really know what's coming either.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, and you kind of told us this last year, is that as an MC, some people don't prepare you well enough to lead the event, but you still have to do the same job. So
correct.
How do you go now? Okay, so here's the thing.
This is behind the curtain, everybody.
That's right. Did we prepare you to be an MC at our event well, or could we have done that better?
I think that there's so much that you learn as an MC that is part of the culture and reading the room. Okay. So I still have to be in the room.
You have to go through it to know it.
Yes, you guys already know. You did a great job. You're very thorough and organized. Everybody who's doing what you do, your team, Julie and Andrea, and everyone else who puts this together, very thorough, very great, very communicative.
Okay.
Right? You guys have your own system for that. I see everyone's copied on these emails. And if I don't respond within 48 hours, Jason hits me back and was like, Jason didn't respond to my last one in 48 hours. But you guys are going to, anyway.
Right. You going to get on me? No, we'll hold up.
However, there's always a part of it because in the room, there's always a vibe in the room.
Yeah.
And I won't know anything about you can tell me about the guests, but I don't know the guests until I meet them. And we hang out for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I realize what they're into. And I realize, everybody last night went to the bar, went to the movies. So I know what to say. I know what to comment on. I don't know the temperature in the room until we're in the room. If it's too hot, it may be a factor in our day.
Okay.
But I won't know that until we get into the room.
So to be a good MC, preparation is one of those. But a lot of times you have to be able to roll with it as you going through 100%. It. And one thing you did is we would say you changed and started doing some pretty amazing things, but it wasn't you changing. It was just doing what you do. Like you came out with a game one time. We're like, that is amazing.
Right.
We didn't tell you to do a game. We wouldn't have known to tell you to do a game. But you did a game. The game was geared towards the content we had just taught. And we're like, what the heck?
Right.
Like we didn't know to say, hey, make sure you come with a game prepared for the content. So listen up, listen to the sessions. No, you just do that, and people don't know to even tell you to do it.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is one of my spiritual gifts, as us Sunday school people might say, is that God put me in this world to help other people have a good time. That's one of the things that I pick up on.
Yeah.
And I realized, number one, normally people like competition, game, they like interaction. So we played a game where everyone could compete against everyone in the room. Yeah. Everyone can be involved, feel special. Yeah. And so I paid attention to the content and I said, this is one of those things. When you think about some of those factors, sometimes it's music. Sometimes it's gamification or competition. Right. Sometimes it's storytelling. And you realize, I could tell a story between Jason's last piece and this next piece. If I tell a story, if I pull out an anecdote about how I too experienced this incident and learned. You mentioned Viktor Frankl last year. Yeah. And Viktor Frankl, for those of you who have not done your homework out there, of course, went to Auschwitz, you know, the terrible death camp there in Poland, I think, during World War II. But I said, I read that book. So I was able to comment on what you said and, keep the people flowing and thinking about that anecdote.
Yeah. And so so an MC is there is an energy in a conference, right? So there might be some conferences that are more buttoned up.
Of course.
More technical.
Of course.
And you're going to respond appropriately and go,
100%.
All right, we're not going to have anybody stand on a table. Yeah. So I'm not going to do a game that does that.
Right.
But the Thrival event the sessions are extremely serious, but the people are very intimate. They know each other and they want to be close.
Yes.
So well, y'all will play a game together with each other. I know you will. I'm going to lead with a game. Is that how you read?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
People want to have a good time. There's 100 ways to do that, but people want to have a good time. One of the things about Thriveal, or many of the other things that I've done in my life, which has been a lot of sports entertainment, family entertainment, schools, and things like that, is to remember that folks have already paid the price of admission to get here. Once they're there, 2 days, 3 days of a conference, they want to have a good time and be comfortable. I don't have to be focused on me. I can focus on them. They're already here. Many of them have come from very far away for our Deeper Weekend events. They already know people. They want to have a good time with the people, and so you can feel that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool because we never have that perspective. We're always going education, content. We love the venues. We got to choose a right venue because Julie does that. So she wants the right energy of how people feel in that venue. But we never go, we got to make sure they have a good time. Though we want that. That's so cool. That's what you bring. You're like, I can fulfill that actually better than the organizer. That's the thing. You hire an MC because you can do something we actually cannot do.
Of course.
Because we have a different status with the attendees. They're like, we're here to see you teach. Jason, don't tell as many jokes, probably, right? Because there was
a lot of things about sweat down my butt crack last. You used that joke a lot, but what's crazy is it worked every time. And I was like, these folks love the sweat and my butt crack joke. I mean, he uses it every 3 hours. And it works.
Well, the thing is, I
don't need to be as creative. This man is saying, I'm going to play the same game again.
Well, here's what they're laughing at. He keeps thinking we think that's funny. We're laughing at Jason.
Oh.
Maybe.
See, sometimes maybe
that's what it is.
Maybe my emotional perception and connection is not as good as I thought. Maybe I just don't know when or why people they're laughing with him or at him.
That's right. I think you know. So, well, let me ask you this. So, and you've kind of alluded to some of this. So you have to prepare people mentally, emotionally, practically to receive the education, to get the most out of it, to drive it deep, and things like that. So you've shared some ideas. Are there other ways you're going to get that room ready to receive?
Yes.
Like, I'm going to give you a specific example.
Okay.
Let's say day one has some of our heavy content.
Okay.
Then at the end of day one, they get to go to a fun party. And so that's, heavy teaching, it, warps the brain. Then they go get to relax. What do you want to do day two? Like, what's your strategy?
So
on
one
day
of the
two,
things that
we
were just chatting about this is helping us meditate on the information we heard the previous day. So you're going to give a lot of great teaching, and I'm sure it's going to be deep. That's the whole point of Deeper Weekend. But we're not going to retain everything. There's so much, right, that you give them, and this person got this idea, this person got this idea, and we can't take all of those things home and execute all of them next week. So one of the things that we do is have maybe a game, for instance, to recap and say, hey, what is it that you took away? And why did you take this away? Oh, you know what? When I go home, if there's one thing I'm going to take away, and you're like, I spent 9 months trying to figure out how to get you all this. One thing is all you got.
I know, but that's all you can take.
But that's all you can take. So you help people reiterate and meditate on those things, and really spend some time thinking about what is it that is going to be that one breakthrough that you need in your business to take you to the next level. Some of you haven't had any time to slow down, release, and get away from your office.
Right.
And now it's hitting you in the face. You've been so busy pushing paperwork, talking to clients, helping, but you got to fire that partner.
Right.
But now you're away from the partner. Now you're like, you know what? I got to fire someone, or I got to hire someone. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the attendees takeaway may not necessarily have anything to do with it may not be the education only. It's that they left, they're in a new place. It's a neutral ground, right?
Very
you
much
get to kind of walk them through this experience the way you want to, because they don't know where they are.
Right.
And so they're going to open up and start to go, what is important? What are those higher level things that are important? And they may go, I got to do this when I get back. This conference prompted me to do it.
And one of the things that we've all been able to see when we go spend some time meditating, learning from someone, is we see what we don't see if we look at it just through our own lens by ourselves. Yeah. And that's what Deeper Weekend is. I mean, there's different types of events I do. I do pep rallies at high schools.
Yeah.
But in this type of event, it's very important for these folks have paid a lot of money, spent a lot of time leaving potential checks that they might be able to have received because they stayed home because they're looking for a breakthrough. And so it's helpful for an MC in this instance to be able to remind them, what is it that you're looking for? Why did you come? You know that you paid a lot of money. You wanted to. Greenville's a great place. Yeah. It's the perfect place for Deeper Weekend and the whole Thrivecast community and all that. But, I mean, you're looking for something, aren't you? Yeah. What is it you want? This event is about you.
Nice.
And I don't know what it is exactly, but you can tell us if you take a break and breathe. Put your phone down for a second.
Put your phone down, or go through sessions, go through a game.
Yeah.
To meditate and actually work
through. Bring it to the top, or listen to someone else who has similar issues and challenges as you, or completely different, and help you see it in a different perspective.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's take a quick break for a sponsor. So a sponsor we're excited about, and then we'll get right back to JDew. Our friends at Belay have modernized staffing with U.S.-based bookkeepers, virtual assistants, social media managers, and website specialists for growing businesses just like yours. So to help you accomplish more and juggle less, Belay is giving away their book, Delegate to Elevate, for free. In this book, you're going to learn how to reclaim time by delegating to reap its powerful, multiplying benefits. To claim this offer, just text the word THRIVE to 55123 today. That's THRIVE at 55123, and go back to what you do the best, which is growing your business. Okay, we're back with JDew, our MC for the on the Thrivecast for the Thrive Deeper Weekend Conference coming up on our 11th year, actually, which is next month. So this is airing on September 25th, I think.
Yes.
So it's coming up October 19th. So
we're 3 weeks away.
Yeah. You got to get your ticket. So, all right, you as an MC, you have done many, many different types of events.
Boy, have
So you have done formal, all the way formal VIP galas. I don't know however you say that.
I'm normally a gala type of
guy.
But gala, if you want to be gala.
Gala.
Yeah, do
right.
your thing. It's 2022, whatever.
That's right.
Pick, yeah.
Pick.
Lots of choices.
That's right. And then there's, you're really well known in the athletic arena.
In this community.
This community. Right. You do a lot of that. So that's a pep rally. That's a stadium movement.
Right.
And then you have conferences, right? Mm-hmm. Educational conferences. What's the difference, or do you approach them all the same?
No, there's a difference.
Okay.
There's a difference in expectation for the attendee and, of course, the organizers, the folks that have asked me to be a part of their experience. I would say that there are certain events like family fun entertainment. I would actually put sports underneath that. I've done lots of sports, but it's really about family fun entertainment.
Okay.
Where you're not going, you're going to be selective about stories and jokes you might tell. Right? Because there are kids in the room.
Right. Okay.
And other times based on, I would say, private conferences, right? So those are private events is how I'd probably put conferences and teaching under the realm of private event.
I see. Okay. That makes sense.
And in there, you might be a little bit more real with how you approach based on if Jason tells jokes that are on whatever his personality or PG-13 level, I feel that I can be
too.
Yeah, I can too. That's what they would expect.
Okay. That's
and
cool.
The same thing for bar trivia or whatever. You can be different in those atmospheres.
I see. Okay. That's you reading the room and knowing.
reading the room.
So you have to decide, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I not do? Oh, I see what kind of event this is, and we can prepare you some, but you're saying there's got to be some level where you get in the room and you go, here's the level at which I know I can operate with my jokes, or with the things I say, or with the follow-up on the content.
And there's certain areas where I mentioned gamification, and I love that aspect of community events, whatever that is. But sometimes it's not the right vibe. You're not. I shouldn't be doing a game in this environment. This is fundraising for the kids who are dying.
Right.
This is not the right context for that. It doesn't mean people don't like games.
Right.
It's just we're not expecting that here.
That's right. Yeah, you'll do something. You'll do something different at different times. Well, I want to ask you for one of the craziest experiences maybe you've had as an MC. But before I do, what we had you do last year,
Yeah.
which was wild. We were doing a transition from Greg Kite, our other MC, to you. And so we had you run out of a stadium, which is actually a stadium you have led for many years. You know it very well. You ran out to another one, Bites the Dust, I think, because Greg was leaving. And then you did a backflip, and then you got everybody singing.
Right.
And then we did fireworks. So that was the beginning of our conference last year. And that was our 10th anniversary. So we kind of did it up big with the fireworks and things like that. So you were out of breath.
Yes. We can be a little bit humble about that, because another one, Bites the Dust, is if you remember all of those minor league baseball movies we've all seen, whatever, League of Their Own, Cornfield, Bill Durham, I ran from the bullpen, center field, toward where you guys were, but you guys were in the stands.
It's a long way away.
Yeah, it was a decent, and I was trying to kind of jive along with the music.
Yeah.
But I was like, it was off season for me. And I cut that backflip and didn't fully rotate, and I bit the dust. And it was fine. And I was like, great. I wonder if they can tell. Everyone could tell. But I wonder if they could tell. And I had to get up and keep doing it. But it was like, I'm a little bit, anybody need an oxygen, a little cigarette, something, or whatever. So.
No cigarette. That was so fun. And we're there. We had just, hired you. We knew locally that you were good at this, but we didn't know you were going to do backflips and stuff. We're like,
you feel the move. You feel the rhythm. You feel the moves.
Has
right?
moves.
Right,
man.
You feel the spirit. I'm bringing some of that Sunday school in there again.
Right.
The spirit moved.
That's right.
I mean, it just didn't move enough because I need a little more rotation.
Just a little more rotation in the back. That's all right.
Yes. Didn't stick the landing. I'll give it a 4.8 on the landing.
But you did it. So,
yeah.
Well, so do you have some other experiences maybe that were some of your greatest experiences?
Experiences.
I don't know if you don't have to tell us where you fell on your face.
I won't. Don't worry.
So just tell us a great one.
Well, let me think. One of, in the last couple of years, I'll tell you great, but also serious.
Okay.
So I'll change it up a little bit because we'll see fun and we'll have fun at Deeper Weekend. But recently, in the last couple of years, one of the things that I have that's my own, that is not, people hire it, but it's my own buttoned up show, is I have a Black History show.
I know that.
You know about that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And in the last couple of years, there's been obviously a lot of questions and turmoil in our communities and cultures around some of race relations and historical perspectives and people groups and things like that. And I've been able to bring in so I've memorized lots of Martin Luther King stuff, as you know.
Yeah.
And dream speech and other things and some lesser known things.
Something you're known for here.
Something I'm known for here and other places that I speak. And recently, it's been really able to be great. He tells a story about a parable that's in the New Testament around the Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
And in the last couple of years, Jason, I tell you that story that Martin Luther King told in his final speech the night before he was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, has resonated with so many people.
That's cool.
In environments of groups and things like that. And so I can become, at the drop of a hat, MLK. I can become him and sound like him and all that. And bringing that story to our communities these days has been really helpful in a lot of different contexts, a lot of different fundraisers and galas and Christmas parties and things like that. Talking about being helpful and being courteous and being a good friend to your neighbor. Yeah. It's just been really great.
It's very cool.
Recently.
But also addressing the race issues.
That too, of course.
The cultural, the major cultural disruption in really, I guess, all over the world. But heading that fate head on.
Right.
Is that, why did you know to do that? Why did you create this event? Is it because of the cultural disruption? You're like,
interestingly
we got to say this and do it.
Well, interestingly enough, in the last couple of years, ever since the craziness of 2020, which was crazy for all of us for many different reasons, but one of the things that we as Americans went through is watching what happened in Minnesota and things like that around George Floyd.
That's right.
Right. And there was other folks involved, and there's black, and there's blue, and there's white, and there's gray and green and purple and all that. But those type of issues were not the reason that I started my show. I've had my show now for a dozen years. So prior to those things, I've had my show. It had a new life and became a virtual option because of COVID. That. Yeah, but I've been doing it since 2011.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Or maybe 2011.
Okay.
And so, I've been able to go to a lot of schools and corporate groups and kind of have a Black History celebration and things like that. And, of course, Joe Biden codified into law now. Juneteenth as a federal holiday.
Yeah,
See, these things are newer, so sometimes you're just positioned to be
That's cool
in those spots.
That's
and so
cool.
it's been great because my show is not, it's historical. It's not religious. It's not political, but religious and political have a lot to do with Black story.
That's right.
Through the years
Yeah.
and through some of the voices that we all recognize. Martin Luther King was a Baptist preacher.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been... for such a time as this, it just seems like, the world is now ready for some of those conversations. And so you can bring up, we've all heard of the Good Samaritan. Where is that from?
Yeah.
Or what story is that? But, you should be a good neighbor. And
you can tell it through his speech.
Yeah, and you can tell it through there, and people get it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? That's a great thing to be reminded of. We might have everything wrong in our minds, and we know how to fix it for those Twitter people, those Washington, Capitol Hill people, but to our neighbors, we actually want to be good friends.
That's right, yeah.
And so it's a reminder that, hey, I can't fix everything in Ukraine right now.
Right.
But I can fix a relationship with my neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So that's pretty encouraging. And actually, just like Juneteenth has been around for a long time.
Welcome to the party, white folks. We've been trying to tell you.
So,
actually, maybe we weren't telling you. I
no,
don't know.
Well, I don't know. But when I realized that, and somebody was saying that has been around for a long time,
1865,
and I learned what it was,
Right.
and it was mind blowing. It's like it's been celebrated forever.
Right. So my story on that one specifically was I was 11 or 12, and my mom was taking me downtown or down to the city park. It wasn't in this community, and there was a festival with booths and tables and tents and music and all that stuff. I'm 12, so this is still in 1900s.
Yeah.
And I asked my mom, what is Juneteenth? I had no clue.
Yeah.
And she explained, well, this is how Black people celebrate freedom. And she gave me the spiel and whatever she said. And my mother is no historian, but I realized at 12 years old, wow, I'm Black. I should know this.
Yeah.
I'm really far behind. I won't tell anybody. Turns out none of my white friends knew at all until last year. So they had no clue. So it was completely fine.
So it's but it was wild when you haven't heard of it. Then you go, no, that's been celebrated. For
Because I knew about it, but I remember the actual moment where we were going to an event, and I said, "Oh, every year." Well, I don't remember it prior to whatever. I was 12 or something. I don't remember it last year, the year before. Is this always a thing? Does our city do something? Grandma's never mentioned this. Well, it turns out that we were hiding it from white folks anyway. So none of my white friends knew. Now they're all invited to the barbecue. Y'all can come. Don't touch nothing for a couple years. Yeah, but you can come and you can observe
and watch.
Yeah, and watch. And we'll get you some potato salad here in a minute. But just watch for a minute.
Salad.
Yeah.
I love potato salad.
See?
Yeah.
All
it's
right.
good stuff.
I'm gonna get you a plate.
I love it. But it's a beautiful. It's actually the history of Juneteenth is a beautiful celebration.
Yeah.
So that if anybody knew what it actually meant, anybody would embrace that.
Right.
It's like that is amazing.
Right.
So, that's so funny. Anyway, we got off on that. So the last thing I want to talk about is what is the life of an MC? Like you're an entrepreneur, and last year, this is funny. You may not remember. Last year we had hired you, which was not hard to do. Everybody knows you, so we're like, well, it's going to be JDew. That's who would do this. I said, hey, do you have your bio? Your history, your work history or whatever. You're like, yeah, I've been unemployed since college. So you can go on LinkedIn and just see the things I do.
Here's links to videos.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's not a resume. Like you have done this since you've been out of school.
Sure. Yeah.
This is your life. So what is the entrepreneurial life like? Like, how do you get gigs? It's probably all referrals, I guess.
Most of it
do you
is
travel. Like, what do you do?
I do travel, but I actually have enjoyed this community of what we call the Upstate in Greenville. Has one, I guess there's a little bit of nature and a little bit of nurture.
Yeah.
One is the nature is I did sports entertainment in this community, as you know.
Okay.
So we have that minor league Red Sox baseball team here, and I was the MC there. So over the course of a summer, there's 300,000 people come through to see games.
Yeah,
and so 70 plus games. So everybody comes. That's the watering hole, right? your group comes, your church comes, your kid's school comes,
Everybody.
and all the first responders come.
Right.
So everyone saw me in that context in this community, which parlays into the nurture, the referrals, the recommendations. Oh, JDew's the guy you want for the Christmas party.
Well, that's how we did it.
Yeah.
We're like, well, it's JDew.
Yeah.
If you need an MC.
It's JDew around here. Yeah. I'm that guy who is the MC in our community and personality who's not actually on TV or the radio, but everyone knows me because I was at some event that you were at.
Yeah, that's
in the
the
last
thing.
year or two.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I knew of you. I've seen you, and been in community events with you, and you just know.
Yeah.
And I guess
here. So I'm thankful because that's how the gigs come, right? My wife once, she was like, "You bringing home some checks?" And I was like, "I got to go there and dance on the street corner or something." So somebody goes, "Oh yeah, the JDew's the guy we're looking for." We knew we're missing something at this event. What is it? Oh, JDew should be there to prompt the experience.
Well, and when we've run a conference for over a decade, it gets to a size where it's a role you have to have. Like you can't actually perform the event at the level we want. We demand the event be extremely experiential, life-changing for people, just the attendees to be extremely cared for. And so at some level, you need somebody to lead that group and go, watch me, I'm going to take you where you need to go. So, and then you do it so well, you just get people to trust you, and then they'll kind of do whatever game you tell them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How do you gain that trust? Like,
that's a great question.
I mean, is it just the way you talk? I mean, you have to and I wonder, how do you gain the trust the minute you walk out the first time? Now, you're going to know our group this year better than last year, but you had to go out and go, I got to get them to trust me.
Jason,
first
you're asking to give me to reveal all the secrets.
Well, we can't do the MC, so we're not going to be able to steal it and go get a gig as an MC.
So one of the things, I'll say there's two things here. One would be make sure that you're comfortable on stage. We've all, whether we're listening or we've spoken before like yourself or taught, we've all been the attendee where the speaker was not comfortable. And that kills the room.
That's awkward.
Yes, remember in high school when it first started, and your girlfriend was great, and she sat next to you in speech class, but when she got up in front of the room, she felt so uncomfortable. Yeah. Everyone felt uncomfortable for her.
Right.
You don't want someone who's on stage thinking about themselves. You want them to think about the attendees.
Okay.
Because if we're focused on ourselves, whether or not I say the right word or I mess up or screw, but if I'm focused on myself, it makes everyone else feel sorry for me, uncomfortable. Okay. When can he be done?
And you don't want to drive that emotion in an attendee.
Well, I'm comfortable, so you're comfortable, right? Yeah, okay, everybody's cool. Everybody's welcomed here.
Right.
We're all going to learn. That's one thing. So actually not focusing on yourself, focusing on the group, the audience. And the second thing, actually, it might honestly be eye contact, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's probably not the reason. Eye contact, you would normally think the reason you do eye contact or have eye contact is because you want to connect with the audience and engage with them and make sure you realize that they're there.
Right.
Eye contact helps me get the feedback of what the people are absorbing. Because if they start nodding their head, I know they're with me.
Oh, I see.
If they grab their phone, I'm like, something's not going right.
I see.
They should be paying attention. So it's actually a feedback mechanism. And you've taught, depending on who you're looking at, or you start to feel, it's kind of like you absorb whatever emotion.
You know, if
are
you're
you getting it
or not?
Yeah, are you getting this? Or, you have a couple of friends and they've got that face that you just want to ask, are you still with me?
Yeah.
And they're like yeah. I'm with you. What are you talking about?
Is there something funny?
Well, the way you look, you look weird. So, you can't say that.
You can't say that, right?
Yeah, but are you with me? Everybody with me? So I think actually it's, a lot of it is, being a friend to the folks and asking them through your eyes and body language.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys with me? You getting it?
Yeah.
You learning? You understanding? You feel comfortable? Is it too hot in the room?
Right, yeah.
Well, any of those things. Because an MC can help with that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I can tell we need to stand up for a second, or why don't we take 5 and get a break? Obviously, we run a very tight schedule on Deeper Weekend, but an MC can read that stuff, where a keynote speaker wouldn't stop mid-speech and say, why don't we go to the bathroom?
Right.
But a transition specialist, an MC, could say that. why don't we take 5?
Right.
Why don't we, shake a hand?
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're letting the speaker focus on teaching, right? So that they don't have to do the transition and read the room and go, are y'all listening to my speech?
Right.
I'm just checking. I stop and check.
Because the answer might be no.
Right. Right. You don't want to ask that. They're like, well, you broke my groove, man. I was like into what you were saying. And then when you told me you said a butt crack joke, you threw me.
Yeah.
But I work them in good. Don't it, J.Dew? I work them in.
I'm telling you, worked them in several times. Yeah.
So a master.
A master.
No, I think I'm
master at the butt sweat joke emporium. He's got a whole warehouse of material there.
It's a known thing about me. People are like, when is he going to bring up the potty? And I swear I try not to bring up the potty, and it comes out and they're going 5 minutes. Took you 5 minutes before you said.
I have some of those ticks too, but my ticks are
that's
not.
A tick.
Yeah, they're not butt crack ticks, right? You can't use those. But, there's some people who hear me a lot and they say, he's in the sports entertainment world. I say the word ladies and gentlemen a lot.
Yeah.
I'm getting people's attention. All right, ladies and gentlemen, down here we've got this contestant. Yeah. His name is Jason. Jason, where are you from?
Right.
And so, the people who take shots or whatever, like, your mom, your uncle, the people who knows, like, how many times over the course of the night will he say ladies and gentlemen?
Take a shot when J.Dew does ladies and gentlemen.
Even my kids know when they get handed a microphone because we practice at home.
Oh, God.
They know. So what's the first thing that you say? Ladies and gentlemen. They know.
Oh, you're teaching it.
Yeah, you say ladies and gentlemen, and then you say on your mark, get set, go, or 3, 2, 1, go. They know how to
move that crowd.
Yeah, that's how you move a crowd. Say those things.
You got to teach them young, man.
You got to. In this day and age, you got to. I mean, there's so many. They need to start making some money.
That's right. Well, you got 4 of them.
4 too many.
So they need to be producing some revenue.
Right. I need to stop producing, and they need to be producing.
I didn't say
revenue.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. As we wrap up here, what are some principles maybe you've learned on your entrepreneurial journey? Ups and downs, hardships, highs, lows. Because you're an entrepreneur like everybody else who comes to Deeper Weekend. So, what have you learned through your journey? Probably a lot.
Yes, I've mentioned my one-man show, and an MC is kind of a one-man piece to a larger puzzle. But actually, no shows, no conferences, no businesses are just one person. So you need a team. You can rely on strengths of other people, and you should if you'd like to grow, expand, or scale. Now, God gave me certain talents, and I've tried to hone them in to be a great speaker myself. But there are still people. In my one-man Black History show, I got a team of 5 people back there who are helping pull those levers.
Wow. Yeah.
Video work, content, research and writing, and all those things.
Yeah.
So, but once the lights come on and the curtain opens, I mean, there's nobody else to blame it on. One-man show is kind of just me. So, But you need to, and you should look at hiring out what you're not great at.
Okay. Yeah.
Try to stay in the middle of what Jim Collins may have called in Good to Great, the 3 circles.
Yeah.
What you're good at, what you love, and what makes money. Stay in the middle of those.
Nice.
But there's other people to help you with other things.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's actually perfect for what the Thrival community knows well. Geez, don't be trying to do your own books and accounting.
Right.
Just get some other professionals to take care of that.
People to do that.
Yeah, get other people, get great folks from this great community to do that crap.
You can do what you do well.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, cool. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Thrivecast. JD, we cannot wait for October. We have so much fun, and we cannot wait to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Look forward to it.
All right. Take care. We're signing off. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you in Greenville, South Carolina at Deeper Weekend. Don't forget to go to thrival.com and hit us up, and we'll see you at Deeper Weekend in October. Take care. We're out.